Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's recap is for Tuesday, August the 2nd, 2022. Today's episode was actually a pretty good episode. The minor stuff is Willow is being Willow. Willow consults with Terry and Britt, and Terry says that yes, there's some, definite concerns, and they need to do a biopsy to really get the true results. But they would schedule it because, they would sedate her, and then she would need to be there for a minute, get a, have a ride home, and, that would be scheduled. But Willow says, no, I want to do it now. So Terry's like, well, okay, I do have time on my schedule, but understand, you won't have the sedation, and it's going to be painful. I can handle it. I know, I'm a nurse, I can handle it. So they do the procedure right then and there. Michael is looking for her. See, she doesn't even remember. She tells TJ, oh no, if there's more to be concerned about, then I'll tell Michael. Well, guess what, Willow? There's more to be concerned about, and you still haven't told Michael. So anyway, Willow goes through the biopsy. She comes out of it. She's going to be waiting for the results. It'll take however long it takes the lab to do it. So she's dressed and she runs into Michael in the hallway, and he's like, goodness, what, I've been looking for you. She goes, oh, I haven't had a chance to, I didn't have my phone on me, and she was just getting another test. And he's like, you're having an awful lot of tests. See, now we're getting into the level of lying. See, now it's just not telling him, oh, I just don't mention concerns. But now we're out and out lying. Oh, well, pregnant women, we have a lot of tests. And he's like, I don't remember Nell having this many tests when she was pregnant with Wiley. And Willow's like, well, you know what, GH's procedures, they want to make sure everything's okay. Lying to Michael. And the funny thing is why? There is absolutely no reason for it. I don't get it. But that's Willow. And I said she was going to do that from day one. Okay, now the next person that I am so over, Elizabeth. Okay, she was cleared. She's back to work. She's going down the stairs the way they left it yesterday. She kind of got a little, dizzy, dropped Willow's chart because she saw Peter at the bottom of the stairs, but she did catch herself with the handrail and she sat down. Well, Finn is the one that finds her in the stairwell, and he helps her up, and he, takes her out of the stairwell. Well, the first thing that came to my mind is, you're going to step over patient information that is spilled all over the stairs? For one, somebody could come and slip. For two, somebody could come and find out information they have no business knowing, because Elizabeth wasn't dying. She was already sitting down on the steps. Finn should have scooped up the chart and then helped Elizabeth to his office. Now, they tried to clean it up because she realized, she goes, I was on my way to Terry's office with some lab results, and oh my goodness, I left them in the stairwell. And he goes, no, I told Epiphany and she sent a nurse to go pick them up. Now, remember, the elevators weren't supposed to be working still. Michael came back looking for Willow, so he could have came up the stairwells, which is what I thought they were going to have. I thought they were going to have Michael find her chart, but they didn't do it that way. So anyway, Elizabeth, while she was in her little delirious state, you could tell that was a very young Elizabeth, crying out for her father, or something was happening that had to do with her father. I knew that was her trigger. She did not start having these issues until she found out that Jake had been in communication with her parents on the computers at the library. That's when Elizabeth started having these trigger issues. So we're getting ready to bring a whole storyline back up with that. But you know what? They're taking way too long, and who cares? Seriously. it just, who cares? Because when Finn lets her know something else is going on with you, Elizabeth, perhaps you need to see someone. And then she said, oh, I need to have my head examined. This is a nurse. This is a nurse, you know? No. And then he says, well, but look, don't do it for you, do it for your children. Oh, now you're trying to say I'm not a good mother? I mean, it's the same old thing. Elizabeth, you know you're in trouble. You know you're not right. But it's going to take a patient getting hurt, I guess, for her to realize, I need more help. Yeah, there we go. So then we get to, let's see, what else was good? Okay, we left off yesterday with Esme on the terrace. Off of the little terrace area, she fell over the edge, right? And Nicholas comes, Ava, did you push her? Well, so what if she had? But she fell, and Ava was telling him we were fighting, and she told him the whole thing, and she fell over. And he was looking, and he's like, well, I doubt she survived it. And Ava's like, okay, this is not a deadly fall. And she's kind of pointing to herself because I fell over it once, right? So they go back inside, and he tells her, look, because the room was a mess because she and Esme had been fighting. He goes, I'm going to clean up the room. And whose suitcase is this? I'm like, well, that don't look like Ava's suitcase. Whose suitcase do you think it would be? So he says, I'll get rid of, he's going to handle everything. Go in the room. You go in our bedroom. Nobody saw you in here. The staff called because they heard fighting or tussling upstairs. And in my mind, I'm thinking, no, the staff told him it was Ava and Nicholas, right? That's why he rushed home. So she goes in their room, she changes her clothes, and Nicholas is saying, we got to come up with a plan. If she shows up, she's going to say Ava tried to kill her. And Nicholas says, well, that'll be your word against hers. Okay. And then if she never shows up, we never saw her. She just, hey, we figured she skedaddled out of here after the, testifying in court or whatever their excuse is going to be. Right. So Nicholas has put himself in the position of being Ava's savior. I'm going to protect you from this. This is going to, we're going to take care of this whole thing. Now, had Nicholas gotten rid of Esme months ago, back when Ava was telling him it's her or me, this never would have got to that, right? But this is what happens when you let a snake stay in your house. They try to eat you, okay? And no offense to you snake lovers out there. So anyway, that's the deal. Let's face it, everybody. We know Esme is not dead. She's not dead in the least. But now she's going to be free to do the real damage. Because see, Nicholas is not, now that he thinks she's dead, he's not going to think to have her privileges at Spring Ridge revoked. She's going to help Ryan break out of jail, and nobody's going to realize it's her because they think she's dead. I mean, it's going to be interesting how all of that is going to transpire, but between her and her father coming back to wreak havoc, it's going to be havoc, okay? So now, the trial. Diane finishes examining Trina on the stand. And actually, it's the assistant DA's turn to cross-examine. So she cross-examines Trina, and then Diane comes back to redirect, and she does. And she just pretty much, she did a great job because it allowed her to bring out the kind of person Trina is towards her friends and how she would never do that. And she allowed really Trina to elaborate quite a bit on some of the interactions that she had with Esme and why Esme didn't like her, and the interactions that Esme, Trina and Jocelyn had, and how Jocelyn and Trina and Esme went just at it. So a lot of good information came out in the summary when they summarizing their cases. To me, the assistant DA's summary was weak, because her case is purely circumstantial. Diane's was better. I think Diane came with the slam dunk. They're going to win this case. So now I guess the jury has to go and decide what is going to go on. But the only thing I did not like was the entire time Trina was testifying on the stand, the only person she could really look at was Spencer. I don't get that. Yes, you had feelings for Spencer, but Spencer slapped you in the face for 8 months, okay? And you started developing feelings for someone else. But not once did she glance Rory's way when she's testifying to look, to him for some comfort and support. It was, now she did look at Jocelyn when oh my goodness, Diane said, how do you feel about your friends? And she was saying, I love my friends. She was looking directly at Jocelyn. I mean, such a great testimony and moment there. Of course, Cameron isn't there because the actor is in school, but to me, and this is just my opinion, and I would like to know your opinions. Cameron Weber's part, his story, is one of the major stories in General Hospital. Trust me, I wholeheartedly agree and support when young actors want to get their higher education. They want to go to college, okay? Because sometimes your acting career is very short-lived, especially the life of a soap opera, actor. You kind of get pigeonholed into that. Although I'm telling you, Nicholas Chavez, I could see him moving out of daytime and doing well, prime time. But anyway, recast recast Cameron. I mean, I'm not tied to that particular actor to be Cameron Weber. They can easily recast him because Jocelyn, her character, is looking like this third wheel. I mean, this no wheel, this singular person, when Jocelyn, they've kind of always set it up. Jocelyn has had a boyfriend, whether it was Oscar, whether it was getting with Cameron. Jocelyn is not just a loner girl. Not that she has to have a man, but she complements very well in a relationship. So just recast Cameron. He is the manager of Kelly's. I mean, there's so many different things that Cameron was doing. He would have been interacting with his mother. He would have been at the trial every single day. But to just allow the complete absence of that character, because now who's Spencer going to be related to? Cameron was his best male friend. So, I mean, there's something lacking there, and that lacking is they need to recast and put a contract actor for Cameron Weber. But that's just my 2 cents. If you feel the same way, hey, put it in the comments, put it in the chats. But the interesting thing that happened at the very end, Trina's talking to him, Spencer, and guess who comes walking in? Jordan with one of her officers. Spencer Cassadine, you are under arrest. And Trina's like, no, you can't, but no, he went back. And so Spencer's like, it's okay, Trina, it's okay. He knew the consequences that would happen if he, in fact, told the truth on the stand. But come on now. We already know Victor's going to have that taken care of so fast that Cameron won't he'll just be in the PCPD jail for a day. And he's going to be sprung from that because bottom line, he did go back. So, and there's not going to really be what kind of justice is really gonna be served with sending him anywhere? He has not caused trouble. Hasn't, since he's been out, he's been we'll see. Spencer's gonna get out, and I really honestly believe it's gonna be Victor that pulls the strings because Laura is off. And Laura would not use her mayoral, goodness, I can't say that word, her mayor influence to get her grandson off like that, because she wouldn't do that. She's gonna, Laura tries to really be very upholding and straightforward as a mayor. So let's get to comment corner. We got some great comments going on over here. Linda says, you're right. It was Valentine that threw Ava over that terrace balcony there. And Nicholas was the one that brought her in. And then Ron said the problem with the pre-scheduled text was Trina was drunk at the time. That is so true. And then really they were talking about pre-scheduled email being released, and it had not even been recorded. Trina was flat out drunk. How could she set it up? She was stumbling. She was feeling more ill than anything. So it just that the DA really did not think that one through. You're 100% right, Ron. Let's see, we've got Lisa. Lisa said, yep, it was Valentine that pushed Ava over the terrace into the water, and Nicholas is the one that pulled her out. We have Butter Liz 876 said, did you hear Diane call Spencer Nicholas? I did not hear that. That slipped my hearing, probably because I knew she was talking to Spencer. So if she would have said Nicholas, I did not hear it. And then she says, yes, Esme being missing is going to be big trouble because now nobody will see her coming. Because look, nobody saw her when she was dressed in a nurse's uniform, nurse's scrubs, and accessing obviously the hospital equipment to print a badge, one of Kiki's old badges, which guess what? That should have only been able to be done at HR, but she was able to get one. She wasn't even seen on the hospital cameras. Okay, so yeah, she can definitely be stealthy like that. And then I had a great narrator. Thank you so much, Jane. I have fun. She says she likes the way I kind of do my recaps. I'm just having fun here. I feel like I'm just talking to a bunch of friends about General Hospital. Monique says Ava gave Esme one of those Mississippi Big Mama backhands that would have knocked her into another area code. Yeah, that was a rumble. That was definitely a tussle. And then this Chemo Beauty said hello to everyone. And yes, it was a good time with that cat fight on General Hospital. Little Miss Esme is more likely not dead. Of course, she is not dead. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next. And she said Trina had all eyes on Spencer. Same thing I said. She did not look at Rory, and this Chemo Beauty put a sad face there. She's not in the mood for Willow's shenanigans, and neither am I. So we're in agreement with that. And let's see what else she said. Whatever is going on with Liz is to be revealed, well, needs to be revealed already, because her storyline is just taking too long. I agree with you. And then she also said it was Valentine that threw Ava over, and Charlotte saw her. I forgot Charlotte was there, and she saw her father do that. She saw her father throw Ava over. And Vet says, now that you brought up the comment about Nicholas, she thinks Esme drugged Nicholas into sleeping with her. but she didn't remember her having time to slip in one. No, she did not have time. Now, what Esme did do, she poured Nicholas a drink, but she poured that drink right in front of him with the cup that was already there. And as a matter of fact, she poured herself a drink too. And in my mind, I said, now this girl is not of legal drinking age, but we're going to let her pour herself a stiff one and me one too. There we go. That's Nicholas Cassadine for you, right? So we have Mary. Mary said, poor Rory, his heart sank when Trina said she had feelings for Spencer. I know, he sure did. Man, my heart sank too for him. And she says, everybody expects, except Spencer looks sad. I was surprised. Spencer was actually kind of, once she said it out there, he's a little cheesing just a little bit. He wasn't smiling all the way, but he was happy to know that Trina cared for him or cares for him, right? Now, Mary also says, while watching the exchange between Ava and Esme, it was satisfying. Esme went over the parapet too easily. She's not dead. No, she's not dead. Ava herself, of course, has gone over that wall and she's alive. The only person that died after the fall was Catherine Bell. I do not remember Catherine Bell. So Mary, can you comment and let us know who was Catherine Bell? And how did she go over? Did Elena Cassadine push her over? Because that sounds like an old name. So how did Catherine Bell fall over that terrace? And then it said Esme is in a coma and will probably blackmail Ava. Spencer's smile was priceless. And then it says, is Liz possessed by Peter or split personality? No, Liz she's had mental issues before. And there's something to do with her father. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how they bring that out. And then, did Esme have the letter when she fell? Esme threw that letter out. So she had thrown it before she fell over the terrace. And that was Medora. She asked that question. Now, Sandy, see, we got some comments today. Now, Sandy says, if she remembers correctly, yes, it was Ava. I mean, it was Valentine that threw Ava. And then she says she thinks Liz has DID, split personality. And when Diane said that she was doing an act of love for Trina, not telling anyone about being with Spencer, the disappointment on Rory's face, we're all commenting on poor that. We were rooting for him, right? And Spencer sat there and smiled a bit. Let's see, we also have a comment from Devlin. She said, yes, it was Valentine. So you all knew who threw Ava over that balcony. And Devlin also said, maybe Willow's baby will save her. They're gonna make it, what's her name? Nina. I think Esme, no, yeah, she does not think Esme is dead. And then she, of course, thanked me for the recap. And then Myra, thank you, Myra. She says she likes me moderating. And then B Smith says, I didn't want Dante with Sam. They don't fit. I agree with you. They absolutely, positively do not fit. And they're very boring together. And then, of course, you see they've completely changed Sam's wardrobe. You know, she's wearing these frumpy dresses now. And then B. Smith also says, Willow should have told Michael the truth. I agree. They did not get the part out about Jordan seeing Trina at the grave. No, they did not. And B also said, can't wait for Michael and Dex to be exposed. And then Hope's gave, Ava gets to see what was in that envelope now. That envelope is in the water. And then she hopes Esme goes to prison. Look, we already know what they do with the really bad ones. Because I'm sorry, Ava used to be one of the bad ones. So Annette says that, well, and B says she hopes Spencer continues this way. On the good path, Spencer's gonna always be Spencer. He's gonna be walking whatever path he chooses. He's never gonna be completely bad. But Spencer has always been entitled, always, even as a little boy. Annette says, what else? I think this might be, let me see, yeah. That is all the comments, a lot of comments there from General Hospital. That's all the comments from today, Comment Corner. I did have one that I wanted to do a trivia. And I need to see the question because as I was reading the comments, it came back into my head, but I'm not seeing it right now. And if I don't see it really, really quickly, I will just write it down next time. And Esme, yeah, I'm not seeing what I wanted it to be because it was really a really good General Hospital trivia that I wanted us to kind of talk about. But the problem, I will find it and I'm going to write it down. And then tomorrow I'm going to bring it up because it's going to be a really, really good discussion. And I want us to have it, or I want to hear your comments on the particular topic. So that is it for today. This was a good episode for a Tuesday. This was a very good episode, in my opinion. What is your opinion? And I will be back tomorrow, Wednesday, August the 3rd, 2022, for the next General Hospital Daily Recap.